just want you to see these. Look at that. I mean, it looks just like a cheddar bay biscuit from another must-make recipe. Okay, beautiful, let's get real for a second. If you've been doing all the things that they said would work, cutting out all the carbs, back-to-back cardio classes, fasting, drinking water so that you're full and won't eat, you're taking apple cider vinegar shots, you're not eating after 7 o'clock, and you are bigger now than when you started, baby, I get it. You're working so hard and it feels like your body is working against you. And if we're being honest, after 40, it kind of is. See, most of the advice that you're seeing online and on IG is for men or those dang teeny boppers, AKA women in their 20s, who, yes, we love. But after 40, things are just different. But this video is just for you. I'm Jasmine Mays. I'm a weight loss coach who lost 70 pounds in 6 months, but now I get to help women 40, 50, 60, and I even have some clients in their 70s lose 15, 25 pounds in 6 weeks without counting, tracking, fasting, or starving. So today I'm going to share with you 4 reasons you're not seeing the results that you're looking for and simple fixes you can implement tomorrow and start getting the results that you deserve. Let's go. Okay, ladies, so if weight loss and wellness are your priority after 40, raise your hand. For most of us, that is definitely going to be what we want. I want you to think about we need to flex differently. So you're going to use this word flex. That is your word of the day. It is flex. I should say, put it in the chat box. The word flex. So for the F, the first thing I want you to think about, the change we're going to make, is you are going to fuel your body. And this is the key, okay? First, what does that mean, all right? When I say the word cortisol, you say, oh yeah, that's the stress hormone. I know about that. When I get upset, they give me a project at work, I got a deadline, I'm in the traffic, people won't move. My child told me they got a bake sale tomorrow, and I got to bring 55 cookies, and I have gotten nan cookie. The cortisol is released, okay? Very, very normal. You're not wrong. That's what happens. But what you may not know is that when you wake up in the morning, your body will naturally release cortisol. That is to help your body wake up and get up. I kind of think about like Cinderella. She had them little birds, and they was coming in, and they was waking up. The little animals come in. That's your cortisol. Okay, come in a little bit. It wakes you up and it gets you going. Now here is the issue. When you're in your 20s, we were told that, and the boys say this too. You get up, we're gonna do a fasted cardio. It's no food in the system. That means we're gonna be burning fat for this workout. And that can be the case. But for most women over 40, when you're gonna do an intense workout, running, HIIT, cycling, boot camp, those are going to put excess stress on the body. And because the body already has stress and there's no food, the body is now going to be in a prolonged state of stress, okay? Additionally, that stress, because there's no, and again, this is high intensity workouts. So I'm not talking about like walking or one of my walk videos. I'm talking about we are getting after it. We are going for an intense workout. When that is the case, your body can tend to break down muscle tissue to use as energy. That's a problem, okay? Because naturally, when you're over 40, the way your body builds muscle anyway, it's not the same as it was when you were in your 20s. Additionally, the more muscle that you have, the higher your metabolism is, and the better chance of you keeping your weight off long term. So if our body is now under stress and burning or eating the muscle, this is a bad situation, okay? So the solution is, if you're gonna be doing a high intense workout, you're fueling your body first with a small snack. I recommend that you have, if you're gonna be doing a strength workout, you wanna have about 15 grams of protein. If you're gonna be doing a cardio workout, you're going to add to that 30 grams of carbohydrate. And you want the total calories in that to be about 200 calories, no more than that. It's just a snack, okay? And then you can have your full meal after that. Now, if you're thinking, well, wait, I'm gonna eat 200 calories, I'm gonna go to the gym, isn't this going to undo what I'm doing at the gym? It's not, okay? It doesn't work like that. having a little bit of fuel on board when you're gonna do your workout is gonna help you to work out harder, right? You're not gonna feel like the half squished bug. You're gonna feel like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon. You're gonna have so much energy and ready to kill it in your workouts. And as well, when you're able to work out a little bit more, you have a better, more intensity, ready to work out a little bit harder, you're going to have what's called EPOC, or afterburn, where your body is going to burn more calories after the workout. So that is going to contribute to, you had 200 calories eaten, maybe you burned 400 calories in the workout, but now because you worked out really hard, we've got more calories burning after that workout. Hey, I am interrupting this video to bring you my latest breakfast obsession. If you don't know, over on Instagram, I post healthy recipes and recipes that taste like they're not supposed to be like healthy-ish or, high protein, because I'm a foodie. I love good food. So I want to share with you my latest obsession, which are these high protein breakfast biscuits. Super easy to make, and you can make them different flavors. So I'm gonna make today spinach, mushroom, onion, and chicken breakfast sausage. They're so good, so easy. I'm gonna leave the full recipe in the box below, so scroll down, grab it, try these, and if you do, tag me on Instagram at JazzyMaze and let me know how you like them. A little avocado oil, half a teaspoon of garlic, a couple of mushrooms, a couple of handfuls of spinach, and this is gonna be part of our filling. All right, now we're gonna pop these in the oven for 22 to 25 minutes at 375. And baby, it's time to eat. All right, so this is the finished product. Look at these bad boys. Quick and easy, high protein breakfast you can grab on the way out the door. Hit your protein goals. They are low carb because we only use coconut flour and almond flour, and so stinking good. These, another must-make recipe. All right, now for the L. We are going to lift heavy. Now, I knew you knew I was gonna say that, okay? And if you like, oh God, we're gonna lift heavy, don't even worry about it. Why is this important? After 40, estrogen and progesterone start to do the cha-cha slide. One slide to the left, one slide to the right. They start acting up, okay? And so when that happens, the fat, now this was crazy. You could have the same amount of fat cells in your body, but when this estrogen begins to drop, they kind of migrate. So that they move from Texas to Nebraska. They're moving up, honey. So it may be more in the midsection. And it's not that you have more fat cells, it's just that they have migrated. And the way that your body is storing the fat is different. Even though maybe you're eating all the same things, you're doing all the same workouts. It is a result of the hormonal shift. So what's amazing is that lifting heavy, okay, can produce some of the same external stressors or the same results that estrogen used to give, okay? Hey, as I'm editing this video, I wanted to just pop in real quick and make sure I'm being super clear on how heavy lifting and strength training can help to compensate for those lower estrogen levels. So estrogen helps to slow down your body's natural breakdown and rebuilding of bone process. It's called bone turnover. But when estrogen drops down, all of a sudden that process gets faster. And that's why you see a lot more women that have osteoporosis and osteopenia. But when you lift heavy, you are putting healthy stress on those bones. And your bones are like, oh, hey, we need to be stronger. So then it begins to stimulate your bone growth. And that can help to compensate for that slowing down of build growth and help to replace or replenish some of the lost bone. Estrogen also helps your body to build muscle and protect against muscle breakdown. But when the estrogen drops, we are now more likely to lose muscle mass, and that's actually called sarcopenia. But when you lift heavy weights, it signals to your muscles that, hey, we need to build, we need to be stronger. Remember, when you lift weights, you're breaking down the muscle tissue, and then it's going to grow back stronger, right? So by lifting weights, even though the estrogen is now lower, our bodies are now being signaled by the strength training to increase the amount of muscle that we have on the body. This helps you to build and maintain muscle even without estrogen's support. And one final thing you may not realize is that estrogen helps your body to handle carbs better and keeps fat stored in healthier places like under your skin versus around your organs. When the estrogen begins to drop, the fat begins to migrate, and then your body is not as efficient as using carbs. But your muscles are kind of like sugar sponges, okay? They want to use that sugar for energy. So when you build more muscle, we then are able to pull more of the sugar out of the bloodstream and use it to run your body and lift your weights and all that kind of stuff. So even though lifting weights doesn't like technically replace estrogen in the hormonal sense, it does have benefits that mimic it in terms of building muscle, helping your bones, and helping with your blood sugar control. And so that's one of the reasons why you want to make sure you are lifting heavy weights on the regular. Okay, so what do I actually mean when I say lift heavy? Of course, this is all relative for you, but this is kind of how you know you're lifting heavy. If you could pick up a 15-pound set of dumbbells, okay, and you can easily pop out, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 reps, child, it's not heavy. It may be heavy towards the last couple, but when we say lift heavy, what we're actually talking about is you are picking a weight that you can do 5 to 6 reps max, and maybe 2 more. So you can do 6, maybe 2 more, so 7, 8. So I'm gonna try these 35s, okay? And again, we're saying 5 reps. So 5, whoo-cha, 4, 3. This will be a little too heavy, okay? That's a little too heavy. Let's try the 30s. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is about the right way that I should be using when I want to lift heavy. Now, every single workout that I have, I'm not necessarily lifting heavy. Some of them, I typically have 1 or 2 heavy days per week. And my other strength training, I am using weight that's still challenging, but it's not my max heavy. Okay, so if you are brand new to lifting weights, okay, let's say that you are watching me right now and you are sitting on the couch, eating them chips and just watching me, whatever the case is. You are not currently working out. Me saying lift heavy, I don't want you to get intimidated by that. When you're first getting started, let's say the first 90 days, we just want to get you moving, okay? So maybe you're doing 2 to 3 strength workouts a week, and you can pick some on my YouTube channel if you want. You can kind of consistently do those. You want to maybe do a weight that is maybe you could do 15 to 20 reps comfortably, because the focus in the beginning is to really work on your form and your technique, getting stronger, getting used to working out, and then gradually you're going to be able to increase your weight. But I don't want you to think about, I'm sitting on the couch today and now tomorrow I'm gonna lift heavy. No, we don't wanna get any injuries, we don't wanna get pain, but we do wanna be actively challenging the body, and you can do that by kind of thinking, I'm reassessing where I'm at every 90 days. Can I increase my weights? Is this too easy? That's also why I like doing the same workouts for a long time, because then you can kind of see, is this too easy? It's time to change things up. And you do want these workouts to contain compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, not just like a bicep curl. It's great. Yes, we want the arms, but you want to be doing moves that are going to also cause you to use your core. So things that are going to have squats and bending over and all of that. you want to have those kinds of exercises built into the workouts that you are picking. Now, I do have a fun test for you to try, okay? Okay, so I got a little special challenge for you. I want you to take this carry test. We know that you should be able to carry about 75% of your body weight for about a minute, okay? So you should be able to carry it. And if you weigh, like I weigh almost 200 pounds, it's 150 pounds. That's a lot, okay? 75 in each hand, that's a lot to carry for 1 minute. But what you can do if you're just getting started is to do 30 to 40% of your body weight, okay? And go for as long as you can, 30 seconds to 45 seconds, okay? So we're gonna do that. So I'm just using 35, so I am carrying 70%. And you want to brace your core, okay? And you just want to be able to carry it. This is a test of core stability. This is a test of your grip strength. And, real life is being able to carry the groceries and all of those things. So you want to be able to make sure that you're able to do this. I'm going to go backwards. Y'all see the setup where we at in the dollhouse with all the lights, okay? I'm doing good with my grip. Are you taking a test with me here? Okay? We're just challenging our grip here, challenging our core stability, challenging our balance. And again, 30 to 40% of your body weight for 30 to 45 seconds. It's a good kind of baseline. And we're working up to 75% of our body weight for a minute or more. Okay? Some of my clients took a test where they just legit held it for as long as they could, and that was amazing too. But these are just good tests you can take to be vigilant and checking that you are aging well, your grip is strong, your core is strong, and you're in good shape. All right, E is to eat. What am I gonna say? What you think? What am I gonna say? Protein. I'm not gonna say protein. Eat more fiber. Sidebar. One of the beautiful ladies who were watching my video, they said, we shouldn't be eating carbs because carbs make you fat or carbs make you crave carbs or whatever the case is. And that can be true. If you are eating a carb that is a low sugar carb, that like a pastry or a chip, yes, that is the case. But let me tell you something. Did you know that cucumbers and apples and lettuce and spinach and rutabagas are all carbs? And I don't see nobody getting fat off of eating no apples now. So I'm just saying that. So when I say eat more fiber, I mean that we want to be eating, well, most women don't get a lot of fiber, but we're looking about maybe 25 grams of fiber in your diet a day. Now, why is this even important? What you may not realize is that after 40 or 30 to 40 is perimenopause, as your estrogen begins to drop, okay, you become less sensitive to insulin. So if you're like, okay, what does that even mean? Remember, when you eat carbs, typically, especially carbs that are high in sugar, they break down, well, any carb, breaks down in the body into glucose. And so you see like a glucose monitor. And then that glucose, if it's high in sugar, doesn't have a lot of fiber, it's going to cause your blood sugar to rise. Your brain is going to say, oh my God, the blood is like honey, not water. So it's then going to send in insulin to help bring the blood sugar back down, to get the blood from being like honey back to water, okay? So what we're saying is that when estrogen is dropping, now your body is not as sensitive to insulin. So even though it's sending insulin to bring the blood sugar back down, it's not going back down. So that means we now have more sugar floating around in the body, which can then result in you gaining weight. It can turn into fat tissue, adipose tissue. So carbs are not the enemy because carbs are your body's preferred energy source, but you want to make sure that you are eating carbs that are high in fiber. So my test is, I call it the flip for fiber rule. Okay, so I get the package and I look at it. All right, I'm going to look at this package. I want to divide the number of carbs by the number of fiber. Okay, and I want the number that I get, so pull your calculator out, carbs divided by fiber. If the number is 5 or less, you're in good shape. This is something that's going to have high fiber. If it is higher than 5, this is not a high fiber option. So I'm not saying you cannot eat those, but I am saying you kind of want to be then more cognizant of those and probably pair those with a fat and a protein so that it's going to slow your blood sugar down overall, okay? But eating those carbohydrates that are high in fiber are going to give your body the energy that it needs, but then also is going to prevent that blood sugar spike from, spiking up and then causing the insulin to be released. Okay, so this is the test that I use when it comes to my carbohydrates to figure out whether something is considered a good source of fiber. So what you're going to do, I call it the flip for fiber rule. I flip over the back of the container and I am going to compare two numbers. I am going to compare the number of carbs and the number of fiber. I'm actually going to divide the carbs by the fiber. So we've got 5 grams of carbs and 4 grams of fiber. So let's grab a calculator. Okay, so we are going to do 5 divided by 4. And again, we are dividing the carbs by the fiber. Okay, so 5 divided by 4 is 1.25. Now, if this is 5 or less, this is a high fiber item in my estimation. Okay, this is chia seeds. We are looking at 8 carbs and 8 fiber. We know 8 divided by 8 is 1, so obviously this is a good source of fiber. Organic black beans, okay? So again, we're going to compare 14 carbs and 3 fiber divided by 3 is 4.66. Yes, we are in the business. Now, same thing with like this bread, okay? We're doing 12 divided by 3. We know that's 4. 4 is less than 5. So this is, in my estimation, a good source of fiber. Same thing with spinach. And raspberries is another one that you could do. Okay, we got applesauce. Okay, apples are a carb. I'm sure you know that. 22 carbs divided by that 3 fiber. You've got 22 divided by 3 is 7. So this is not really a great source of fiber. So in this case, I would pair this applesauce with the protein and a fat to help get my blood sugar more stable. Okay, now let's look at rolled oats. I'm sure you're thinking this is a great source of fiber, right? So we've got 31 carbs and we have got 5 fiber. So we're going to divide 31 divided by 5. And we've got 6.2. So again, I would be pairing this with a protein, maybe a protein powder or cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, and fat, healthy fat, in moderation to keep my blood sugar more stable. And again, carbs are not the enemy. It's just kind of understanding which carbs are good and which carbs are kind of not so good. Now, for something like chips or something, I don't have no chips in my house, okay, so I can't show you no chips. But if you had chips and it was like 0 fiber to 20 carbs, you know that ain't no good source of fiber. If you had something, maybe a white piece of bread or something like that, then you obviously know. These ones that I have are pretty even close to 5 because I try to keep only the good carbs in my house, okay? But it's kind of a good test for you to be able to see whether or not something is a good source of fiber. If it's not, make sure you're pairing it with a fat or a protein, and definitely try to keep that number as low as possible. Carbs are not the enemy. You just got to know how to treat them. All right, for the X, you are going to exhale stress, all right? Now, we know that as your estrogen begins to go down, which is happening perimenopause into menopause, you now are kind of losing one of your body's natural guardians against cortisol. So when cortisol levels are staying higher longer, we mentioned before that it can cause more belly fat, it can cause cravings, it can cause your muscles to then, kind of, I want to say be eaten, your metabolism to go down. So we really want to work on managing the stress. I know you're thinking like, okay, that's great. I hear that all the time, to manage stress. One of the things that I actually take personally is ashwagandha. These are adaptogens. Ashwagandha, or you can take rhodiola. And these are natural, like little, because these plants are under such stress when they are coming up, out of the rocks, they naturally have these properties that help your body adapt to stress. I will say that if ashwagandha messes with your mood, it can mess with your mood a little bit. If that happens, you want to try rhodiola instead. But these are kind of natural ways that you can begin to fight against some of the cortisol. And if you deal with a lot of like racing thoughts at night, give L-theanine a try. It is an amino acid that kind of helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. I call it like the rest and digest kind of assistance or supplement, so that you can really unwind and sleep deeper at the end of a day. And lastly, if you don't have a nighttime routine, which I know some people do not, but it is totally a game changer. Just taking 7 to 10 minutes of being really intentional at the end of the evening can put you in a better space to sleep efficiently, sleep effectively, and really feel rested. So I'm going to show you, kind of walk you through my nighttime routine, and I'll also leave a little download for you in the comment box where you can kind of download my nighttime routine and see what pieces of it may work for you. So this is my favorite nighttime routine. I've been doing this for a couple of months to really help me focus on winding down before I go to bed. And I spend about 5 to 7 minutes doing this. The first thing I do is I turn down the lights, and I also put my phone on Do Not Disturb or on silent. I used to scroll on Instagram before I went to bed, but I got out of that habit and will almost leave my phone in another room or put it somewhere where I'm not going to be, scrolling. So I just sit back. I also get either some kind of a chamomile or a lemon tea, something that's going to help me to kind of just relax and unwind at the end of the day. And then I do what's called 4-7-8 breathing. So you're going to inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. You're going to hold it for 7 seconds. And then you're going to exhale for 8 seconds, okay? So it looks like this. You're going to inhale, again, inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Looks like this. Inhale. Now you try it with me, because I want you to really get a feel for like how relaxing it is. So we're gonna inhale for 4, hold for 7, and exhale slow. Here we go. See how relaxing that is? It's so good. So I do that like 4 or 5 times, and that really kind of just helps to calm me down and kind of get me in a more relaxed place. And then I got a gratitude journal when I first started doing this. And so I will document or just write down 3 things I'm thankful for. And I try to think about things that happened that day, because I read somewhere that gratitude helps you to relax and to sleep better. So I try to be very intentional about focusing on things that happened that day that I am grateful for. And then after that, I do 2 stretches. I do a forward fold, and I do a standing chest opener on the right and the left side. And after that, I feel super relaxed and ready to go to bed. So let me show you these stretches. The last thing that I do is I find a wall and I just do a chest opener. So I'm bringing my body in front of my arm, and you are gonna feel this. You're gonna feel it all right here. If you've got like a desk job where you sit, and your shoulders and everything are rounded. This is such a good stretch to help open up, you know, the chest, the shoulders. You're gonna feel it. So I will hold it, and then I'll step back, and then I'll step forward again, making sure that I'm breathing. And I do this on both sides. I typically do each stretch 4 times, each of my breathing exercises 4 times, and by then, I'm ready to go to bed. All right, beautiful. So as you can see, losing weight over 40 is not about eating less, endless cardio, or fighting against your body. It's about working with your hormones, fueling smart, lifting heavy, and creating routines that calm your stress and reset your system. Now, if you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start seeing results, I have got something special just for you. It is my Oh She's Fire challenge, because in this day and age, so many women, especially in their 40s, 50s, 60s, they kind of lose that spark. They lose that fire, because sometimes they lose themselves. And I want to empower you to get your glow back, your beautiful back, your feminine energy back. And that's what we're gonna do in this challenge. It is a 5-day experience where we're gonna focus on body, mind, and glow up habits. Every single day of the challenge, we're gonna meet live on Zoom, and I'm gonna teach you how to build strength and sculpt your body, the nutritional habits and techniques I teach my clients that help you to lose weight without counting, tracking, or fasting, how to tap into your feminine energy and level up your self-care, and just feel like you again. So if you're in, I want you to click the link below and join the waitlist for the Oh She's Fire challenge. Spots are limited in this, but my waitlist will be the first ones to know. I absolutely cannot wait to see you there, to meet you, to get to know you, and to work with you. And if you want 10 fat loss habits you should implement right now to start seeing results, watch this video next.